I think retailers have done relatively well coping with the pandemic. Obviously at the start, in the grocery sector, there was the panic buying and mountains of toilet roll disappearing, and things like dried pasta being in short supply. But I think the speed that retailers were able to respond just shows the strength and flexibility of those supply chains and those logistics networks. The way they were able to gear up to support those who were shielding with the food boxes, again, was a credit to the industry. I think the other thing that came out of this was just the change in customer behaviour, so less people shopping in stores, more people wanting a form of home delivery, so whether that was the traditional, .com home food delivery to customers' home, or whether that was doorstep delivery of food boxes, which we piloted in Morrisons, or whether it was, click and collect locations springing up. And I'm not just talking about the big retailers here. You were looking at, your local butcher being able to do click and collect with often quite rudimentary ordering at the start of the pandemic. But I think everybody found a way quite quickly to get their product so that customers could order it and collect it without the normal interaction in the store. I think what the pandemic did do, though, was kind of show up some of the weaknesses in terms of the fact that pretty much everybody has destocked over recent years. So retailers generally hold less stock, and suppliers are much more lean in terms of the stock they hold. And then when you look at kind of cross-border trade and the difficulties that the pandemic posed on that, I think it will lead to a period of people retrenching and thinking about where their production comes from and the length of their supply, the physical length of their supply chains. I think the lasting changes in food supply chains from the pandemic are probably slightly hard to predict, given that we don't know the length of the pandemic or what will happen next with variants, etc. But I think there'll be various trends. I think home shopping and delivery to the consumer at home or their workplace, and their workplace may change, will be a bigger part of the share of the market. I think shopping local will become a bigger thing. I've certainly seen small businesses who, I live in Harrogate, and I've seen small businesses like a small, fairly traditional butcher come through the pandemic, and suddenly he's doing fruit and veg, he's doing sandwiches, and it's become a real heart of the community. So businesses like that, I think, that responded, little businesses that did very good home delivery to vulnerable customers, I think will get a lot of loyalty from that and will grow. I think the food to go businesses, coffee shops, etc., some of them will almost shift where people aren't commuting into the cities, but they're working from home, so there'll be an opportunity for those local businesses, because you want to get away from the Zoom call or the Teams calls and get out and walk and get a cup of coffee from somewhere local. So I think local will become a big thing, as well as increasing home delivery.